Let me ask you something. Why does your brain act like a detective that never sleeps? Picking apart every word, every emoji, every pause, until you feel tired, small, and broken? You're not just thinking. You're cross-examining yourself. You replay that one message, that one conversation, that one mistake, again and again, like your brain is sure something dangerous is hiding in there. And the worst part? You start to believe the story. If I can't stop overthinking, something is wrong with me. Today, I want to flip that story, because your overthinking and anxiety are not signs that you're weak. They're signs that your brain is trying to protect you. But it's using the wrong tool for the wrong situation. Stay with me, because in a minute, I'll show you the exact question you can ask yourself before you overreact to a text. And later in this video, I'll walk you through one small Stoic routine you can use the next time your brain starts spinning at 2 a.m., so you can actually sleep instead of negotiating with every thought in your head. Think about how your overthinking actually shows up. You see, "We need to talk" on your phone. Your stomach drops. Your brain doesn't just notice the message. It writes a full horror movie. They're angry. I messed up. This is the end. I'm going to lose them. Or your boss says, "Can we chat tomorrow?" Suddenly, you're mentally unemployed, broke, and living under a bridge, all before you've even closed your laptop. Or maybe you're scrolling social media. Someone your age just got engaged. Someone else bought a house. And your brain whispers, "I'm behind. I'm failing at life. Everyone's moving. I'm stuck." If that sounds like you, I want you to hear this clearly. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your brain does this, and you'll have 3 simple Stoic moves you can use when your thoughts start spiraling. Not theory you forget tomorrow. Tools you can actually use while you're staring at your phone, or lying in bed, or sitting at your desk pretending to work while your mind is on fire. Because there's a real cost if nothing changes. Every night you lose to overthinking, you never get back. Every conversation you avoid because of anxiety is a connection that never grows. Every day you spend trapped in "what if" is a day you don't live the life that's actually in front of you. Life is finite. One day there will be a last message, a last argument, a last night you ever get to fall asleep. Do you really want to spend those rare nights fighting ghosts in your head? How many times has one small message ruined your whole day? Let's talk about why you're actually stuck. Most people think, "I overthink because I'm weak," or "I have anxiety because I'm broken." But from a Stoic and psychological point of view, that's not what's happening. Your brain has one main job: keep you alive, not keep you happy. Not keep you peaceful. Keep you alive. So your brain developed this survival trick. If I can predict every possible danger, I can protect you from pain. That's what overthinking is. Mental rehearsals, simulations, worst-case scenario planning. It's the same with anxiety. Anxiety is like an alarm system. It says something might hurt you. Be careful. Pay attention. That's not evil. That's protective. The problem? Your brain is still using a survival system that was built for tigers and cliffs, on texts and emails and Instagram stories. No one is chasing you with a sword. But your heart is racing like there is. Your nervous system doesn't always know the difference between "I'm in real danger" and "someone is taking a little longer to reply." There's another trap. There's the first emotional wave and the second wave. The first wave is natural. You feel a sting of fear, a knot of worry, a hit of embarrassment. That's normal. That's you being human. The second wave is what your mind does with that feeling. The story you add on top of it. They didn't reply. That means they don't care. That means I'm not enough. That means I'm unlovable. that means my life is going nowhere. Most of your suffering comes from that second wave. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." You're not just feeling the moment. You're feeling 100 imagined futures that haven't even happened. Does that sound familiar? How many times this week did you suffer from something that only existed in your head? So how does Stoicism help you here without turning you into a robot? There's a core Stoic idea that changed everything for me. The dichotomy of control. In simple language, it's this. Some things are up to you. Some things are not. Your thoughts, your choices, your effort, your attitude, your actions, those are in your control. Other people's emotions, their responses, the past. Random events. Those are not. Epictetus said, "Some things are in our control, and some are not." Most of your overthinking comes from treating the not column like it's your job. Let's make this practical right now. Think of one thing you're overthinking lately. Maybe it's a message you sent. Maybe it's your future. Maybe it's money. Bring that specific thing to your mind for a moment. Now, here's your first micro exercise. Ask yourself slowly, what part of this is actually in my control? And what part isn't? And don't just think it. If you can, whisper it. This is my brain trying to protect me. I choose what I do with it. When you do that, you're doing something very stoic. You're stepping back from the storm and looking at it instead of being inside it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind." Right now, you're training your mind to think in a new way. Not, "What's wrong with me?" but, "What's actually mine to carry here?" Coming up in a second, I'll give you the exact one-line question you can use the next time you're about to overreact to a text. But first, let's dig a little deeper into why this is so hard to apply. Even when you know this idea, you still get stuck in some sneaky mental traps. One trap, you treat every thought as if it's a fact. Your brain says, "They're mad at me," and you don't question it. You just accept it and start reacting to it like it's real. Another trap. You think being calm means nothing is wrong. So when you feel anxious, you think, "See, I'm broken. I'm not like other people. Normal people wouldn't freak out like this." That judgment adds shame on top of fear. And a third trap. You confuse your emotion with your identity. Instead of, "I feel anxious right now," you say, "I am anxious. This is who I am." No wonder it feels heavy. You're not just carrying a feeling, you're carrying a whole identity around it. Here's the truth. You are not your first reaction. You are what you do next. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Your overthinking is not proof you have no power. It's the place where your power starts. So let me ask you, what hurts you more right now? What actually happened, or the story you've been telling yourself about it? Just noticing that difference is a huge step. Now let's turn this into a simple framework you can use the next time your brain goes into overdrive. Think of this as 4 small Stoic moves. First move, name the alarm, not yourself. The moment you feel that spike of anxiety, instead of saying, "I'm such a mess," say, "My brain is sounding an alarm." That's it. It sounds small, but it's a huge shift. You're no longer the problem. You're the person hearing the alarm. Next time your chest tightens after a message, try this line. "Okay. My survival brain is talking. It's trying to keep me safe." Remember this. Stop attacking yourself for the way your brain tries to protect you. Second move. Ask the Stoic control question. Here's the exact question I promised you earlier. What, in this moment, is actually in my control and what isn't. You can use this before you reply to a text, before you send that angry paragraph, before you stalk someone's profile. Again. For example, they sent, "We need to talk." You can't control their mood. You can't control the outcome of that talk right now. You can control whether you spend the next 4 hours building nightmares in your head, or you focus on something you can act on. You might even say, "I can't control what they mean. I can control how I show up when we talk." Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This question pulls you back into the how you react part. Third move, take a 3-second pause. This is where body and mind connect. Before you act, before you type, before you scroll, give yourself 3 seconds. Inhale slowly. Feel your feet on the floor. Drop your shoulders. Exhale. Then ask, what would a calmer version of me do next? You don't need a perfect answer. You just need one step that's 5% less reactive than your first impulse. Next time you're in an argument and you feel that heat rising, give yourself that 3-second pause. You'll be surprised how often those 3 seconds are the difference between damage and clarity. Fourth move, do one tiny thing that's yours to do, and release the rest. Maybe the tiny thing is replying with one honest, simple sentence instead of a novel. Maybe it's writing your thoughts down for 5 minutes instead of letting them spin in your head. Maybe it's deciding, I'll think about this for 10 more minutes, then I'm done for today. Then comes the Stoic and memento mori part. Remember this line from Marcus Aurelius. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. That's memento mori. You could be gone. They could be gone. Nothing is guaranteed. Ask yourself, if tonight were my last night, is this really how I'd want to spend my final hour? Refreshing, rehearsing, rereading the same message? Most of the time, the honest answer is no. Remember this. Your brain is using overthinking as a self-defense tool. Stoicism helps you use self-awareness as a better tool. You're not trying to shut off the alarm. You're learning to respond to it with wisdom instead of panic. Let me put this into a real-life moment so you can feel the difference. Imagine this. It's 11:47 p.m. You're in bed, lights off, phone way too close to your face. A message pops up. Hey, we should talk tomorrow. Your heart drops. Your mind races. Old you goes straight into the spiral. What did I do? Did I say something wrong? Are they leaving? Are they mad? Did I mess up that last conversation? Why did they put a period at the end? Why didn't they send an emoji? You open your chat history. You reread every message. You check their social media. You imagine 5 different talks, and you lose every single one in your head. You toss and turn. You sleep badly. You wake up exhausted, already on edge, before the day even starts. Now, let's replay the same moment with the Stoic moves you just learned. Same scene, same message, same initial punch in the stomach. You feel the rush of anxiety. But this time, you catch it. You say, in your mind, okay, my survival brain is talking. This is an alarm. You name the alarm, not yourself. You take a slow breath, 3 seconds, in and out. Then you ask the control question. What, in this moment, is actually in my control, and what isn't? You realize you cannot control what they're going to say tomorrow. You cannot control their mood at this exact second. But you can control whether you torture yourself all night. You can control how rested you'll be for that conversation. You can control the kind of person you choose to be when you show up. You whisper to yourself, I can't control the outcome. I can control how I prepare and how I behave. You open your notes app and write down 3 questions you might want to ask them tomorrow, just to feel a little more grounded. That's your tiny, in-control action. Then you remember, memento mori. One day, you will not be here. One day, this conversation, this person, this exact worry will be gone. You ask yourself, if this were one of my last nights, would I really want to donate it to imaginary arguments in my head? The answer lands heavy. No, I wouldn't. So you put your phone face down. You turn off the screen. You place your hand on your chest and say, my brain is trying to protect me. I'm safe enough to sleep. Same message, same uncertainty. But your internal story is completely different. You didn't erase the emotion. You guided it. You gave your anxiety a job it could actually do. Alert you. Then step aside while your wiser self makes the call. Let's bring this home. You overthink and you feel anxious, not because you're weak, but because your brain is trying to keep you safe. It just hasn't learned how to retire old survival tools that no longer fit your life. The key shifts are simple, but deep. First, you separate the first emotional wave from the second. Feeling a pang of fear or worry is human. The spiral you build on top of it is optional. Second, you use the Stoic dichotomy of control. You keep asking, what is actually in my control right now, and what isn't? And you act only on what's truly yours to act on. Third, you practice tiny moves. Name the alarm. Don't attack yourself. Pause for 3 seconds. Take one small, in-control action. Let the rest go, remembering that your time and attention are not infinite. Seneca said, life is long if you know how to use it. Every time you refuse to hand another hour to pointless overthinking, you are using your life better. So here's my question for you, and I'd love for you to answer it in the comments. What is one specific situation where your brain always spirals? And which of these moves will you try the next time it happens? If this helped you feel a little less broken and a little more in charge of your own mind, consider subscribing, sharing this with someone who overthinks like you do, and maybe saving it to come back to on a rough night. Remember, your emotions are not the enemy. Your anxiety is not proof that you're failing at life. It's a signal, not a sentence. You're not trying to erase your emotions. You're learning to steer them.